I was completely shocked and surprised that he broke up with me out of nowhere. And that's not something I ever expected. And it's not what I thought I wanted.
Welcome back to another episode of Girls Gotta Eat.
Welcome back.
You know, I like stuttered a little bit and I was like, what am I about to say? We are back in New York.
We're back. It's Azul's birthday week, everyone.
Happy birthday,
his birthday,
kid.
allegedly, per his medical records, is March 8th. So he's a Pisces. They're known to be very sensitive, emotionally aware.
That's him.
Just really sweetie. I know. Our other dog, our family dog, is a Pisces. Bella's dog is a Pisces.
I feel like he's so emotionally aware. I feel like he's extra sweet to me when I'm having a fun.
I know. Like, I came back from California. I was in a dark place and he just slept in the bed with me, like his head on my pillow, like facing each other. I was holding his paw. I was like, we are a couple.
I came back from California. I was in a bad place and I ordered 6 empanadas to my apartment at 11 o'clock at night.
Wait, you didn't even tell me what you ordered. Did you copy me?
No, I ordered empanada mama. It's my favorite.
Well, I had told you I was getting a tamale and tacos from Ja Ja Ja.
Well, you leaned in one of our first date references.
Which it is ha ha ha, but it's if I say ha ha ha, you guys don't.
It's Ja Ja Ja.
Ja Ja Ja.
Yeah, I ordered
Joms.
empanadas.
Uncut Joms.
Actually hasn't said in a while. It's been bubbling up inside.
It's been bubbling. Well, Ja Ja Joms. Oh my God. Should they change their name?
Ja Ja Ja.
Why is it so funny? But anyway. What?
We made the same noise at the same time.
Oh, we did?
She doesn't even notice it.
Same wavelength
anymore.
Okay, guys, this episode is brought to you by BetterHelp Therapy Online. Discover your potential with BetterHelp. Therapy can help. Visit betterhelp.com/GGE today to get 10% off your first month. So getting to know yourself can be a lifelong process, especially because we're always growing and changing. And therapy is all about deepening that self-awareness and understanding, because sometimes you don't know what you want or why you react the way you do until you talk your way through it. BetterHelp connects you with licensed therapists who can take you on a journey of self-discovery from wherever you are. And whatever it is that you want to address in your life, this can always help. So if you think I'm really stressed out and I want to address that, if I want to feel more confident, if I have issues in my relationship, my job, my friendships, if you want to work on emotional healing, anxiety, depression, so many different things they can help talk you through. And if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. You'll just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Discover your potential at BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/GGE today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/GGE.
Oh, we have such a good episode today. I'm really excited.
More Rayna's friend.
One of my best friends, but she's your friend now.
She is, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about how we bonded. Because, listen, I prefer single people. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not kidding.
Bella can still work here, but all of our friends have to be single.
Bella's an icon, and she just... I feel like Bella is like, we're too thirsty for her right now. She's uncomfortable.
Rob bought her a wing pin.
Okay. He's so discreet. Rob bought her a pin that's wings, like Rayna said, because she's the ultimate wingman. I guess she is. She hooked me up.
The guy that I slept with this weekend followed her on Instagram, and I was like, why? And he was like, she's the goat.
All the guys that we went out with, slept with, there were a lot in California, were all obsessed with Bella. They wouldn't shut up. I was like, can you chill out?
Bella will be in touch.
We had guys, we were in a group chat with the four of us, the guys we went on the double date with, before the show in San Francisco. And they were like saying really funny stuff. And they were like, what did they say? Can we like skip this line and come back there? And they were like, are we important enough? And I was like, no. And Rayna goes, we literally just met you. And they go, give us Bella's number. So I just gave him Bella's number and he called her immediately on the phone. Bella went and got them. What will we do without her?
She's over. She's across the room working on the merch. Guys, new merch today. Yay! I am so excited. I feel like I'm going to cry. We fired our merch company. Now we're going to talk about why.
Shit. Go on.
So yeah, we fired our last merch company. We'll talk about why. The positives of this, new merch. We've taken the merch back into our hands. We have an incredible designer, Alyssa. We love her. Shout out to her. We don't have to do 17 2-hour Zoom meetings with her to get 6 t-shirts made.
Oh my God. Oh, wow. Rayna is on one. Pop all the way off, queen.
So me, Ashley, and Bella have created an amazing line of merch for you guys.
Rayna and Bella.
Me and Bella and Alyssa. Unbelievable designs, all new colors, all new stuff. It's just, I'm so proud of it. There's great sweatshirts, crops, totes,
Azul
stickers.
mug.
There's an Azul mug finally that you guys have been asking for. There's great GGE stuff. I'm just really proud of it. I'm excited. And we want to say to you, we hired a new merch company over the summer. We launched in the fall. I'm sorry that they ruined a lot of your Christmases because they couldn't get their shit together.
Yeah, it was such a bummer. And I mean, Rayna and I, a little behind the scenes, like we do everything for this business, but one thing that we are never going to do is like house merch and, like send it out and, be like Barstool, who runs like an amazing merch company. Like they're one of the best to do it. And that's just not what we do. So we had always like designed it ourselves and we use this great fulfillment and, people come along and they pitch us and they're like, we can do all this for you. And we do all these other clients and yada, yada. And we use discretion, but we really trusted these people. And I mean, I think they were in over their head. I mean, whatever they have going on internally, but they really fucked up and they, fucked up to the level of like people were getting the wrong like color of stuff, wrong items, didn't get it in time for their Christmas gifts. And it like broke our heart. And we are so sorry to anyone that had to deal with that. And we were like on it. We could only do so much. And we were like, never again. Cause we fired another merch company before them too. Like we take this so seriously. Like we don't just like let someone handle it and call it a day. Because it matters. And so we're back to what we were doing originally before these 2 people we had to fire. And, Bella's helping out now, but even before Bella, Rayna would do all this. She would work in the customer service and it's just, we trust this company and it's way better and we have full control of it. So hopefully we won't see these issues again and we won't. I mean, it's just, fuck those people. Like it was, I know we know there were issues this year with everything, but, a lot of it was just totally unacceptable. And we apologize to anyone that was affected by that. And it shouldn't happen again.
Yeah, that's it. I echo everything Ashley said. If you ordered merch in 2020, all through the holidays, especially in 2020, we did tens of thousands of orders if you got the right stuff. So this is a company we've worked with that we trust, that we have done tons and tons of business with. So we're excited to be back there. They've made some improvements. There's way more items that are available. We're just really excited. It's girlsgottepodcast.shop and it launches today.
Yeah,
so
launches today.
Girlsgottepodcast.shop.
Buy the Azul mug. We know that's going to be a favorite. And just a reminder to check your order, double check your order before you send it to us. Everything is made to order. So once we start fulfilling it, we can't make changes and all sales are final. Unless of course you receive the wrong item or a defective or broken item, which is very rare, really shouldn't happen. And of course, reach out to us if it does at support@girlsgottepodcast.com. That is on the website, along with any questions you may have, return policy, all that kind of thing you can find on the website. And we cannot wait to see you guys wearing and holding and all the things with your new merch.
Okay, live shows. Let's get this out of the way. Toronto is live today.
Yay, Toronto. We will, God willing.
Yeah, guys, just keep it together and we will see you on June 4th, Saturday night, Meridian Hall. We absolutely cannot wait. Those tickets are live today, Monday, the 7th at 10 a.m. Eastern time at girlsgottepodcast.com. Every other live show, there are some tickets, a couple left in Portland, St. Louis, Kansas City, Pittsburgh, Detroit, and Indianapolis. Our shows are unbelievable.
They really are.
They're an experience that you guys will never see anywhere else. It is so immersive. It is so fun. It's so interactive.
I love the word immersive.
I know. Well, who gave it to me? Jamie Lee who has been on our podcast before, came to our LA show and she was like, I've just never seen like an immersive experience like this before. You're just like really in it. It was such a nice thing to say.
Yeah. And then we're going to take a little bit of time off. And we probably will not tour until the fall. We're just going to have a summer and hopefully go to Greece and do some things. We may be in Montreal in July, May, as far as we know, not 100%, but that's really the only thing. And then we'll pick back up in the fall.
Yeah.
So if you're like, I want to see Girls Gotta Eat before the fall, then come to one of these shows. Detroit, Kansas City, wherever your heart leads you.
You may lead yourself to. We'll see you in Portland at the end of the month on March 31st.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
So live shows, we didn't talk about San Diego.
San Diego's good.
San Diego was wild. We had so much fun.
Wild,
with you guys.
so fun. Yeah, it was crazy. That was I got a little action from the stripper on that one. That was insane.
You didn't get action. You guys did a lap dance on me. I was the chair.
When I locked eyes with you, I was like, she's too small for this. Like, it's going to crush her.
I was sitting and he sat on me and pulled you on top of him. There are so many limbs flying around. This girl did an Instagram story and said, like, I'm sitting next to my mom watching this.
I loved it.
It made me laugh so hard. So that was a blast. The show was great. And you met somebody. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah.
Later. Do you want to talk about it later?
Later? What, like in 10 minutes? I met this guy in San Diego and we had a really fun night. And then he actually came to LA and we did it all over again. And so I do want to report that I did use the passion kit in San Diego in the Pendry and the romance kit in the Pendry in LA. So I have used them both. I can compare them both. And when I settled up at the Pendry LA, there was a bunch of like random charges on there for the mini bar because it was censored. It was no big deal. They handled it, but I was like looking at my bill, which that was rough. And
we kept extending the trip.
I was going to go for
Thursday.
9 nights. So if you can imagine. And I was like, telling her what I did use. And I was like, I did actually use the romance kit.
Ashley, watching you explain this to the front desk was so amazing. It was so funny explaining like that there was 2 of them. I got to live my dream.
I did explain it to one person at the front desk before I used it. It was before he arrived. Scott, we love Scott. And so then I actually did use it. So I didn't have to pay for it. It was a journey. But it was a great time. And
what did you do? You used to take back. Tell me blowjobs were for boyfriends still.
Rayna?
Ashley was on her knees in the shower, just fucking her knees up, getting waterboarded, sucking a dick. Mrs. Blowjobs are for boyfriends.
I felt a vibe. I caught a vibe. And I just listen, the water did not hit my face.
That's her defense to this.
I'm not going to waterboard myself. I caught a vibe in the shower.
First of all, the Pendry showers.
Oh my God, amazing. Yeah, and they're big. So like he was blocking the water and I don't know. It just felt right. And
you laughed so hard at this thing that like we were driving from San Diego to LA and you were talking about how you were sore and I was like, oh, we were driving to the airport in LA. And I was like, you're sore. And I was, what did I say to you?
I'll tell it. So I was like, I'm sore. Like I'm touching my arms and like my shoulders. I was like, I'm kind of sore. And she goes, oh yeah, you're bruised up. He pinned you down. And I was like, what? I said, Rayna, no. Like, I
laughed the whole way down the 405. I did not know what you were talking about.
The way you said it was so casual because I don't like to be pinned down to the point of bruising. That's your thing. And you said it so casual, like everyone gets like pinned down because you were all like bruised up from the guy in Australia. Mm-hmm. And the way you said it was like, of course, there was the only one explanation. It was so funny to me for whatever reason.
You laughed for so long and I was like, I legitimately do not know what I said.
It was so funny. No, I was just kind of like, I was sore all over. I really had a great time. Like, I think I texted you. You were like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm headed up to the pool. I have cum in my hair. Like, I was like, what a day, sex, pool, margaritas, more sex, room service, shower, blowjob. It was a great time.
He had a great time.
He had a great time. I think it was fun. So California was a success.
We love it. We're sad to be back. Honestly, we may buy a home there now instead of Miami. We don't know. Who knows?
Trying to pay those taxes.
I know, but
Gavin Newsom better take it down a notch.
We'll get a Florida home too. We'll figure it out. We'll work it all out.
But you got laid too.
Yeah, I got laid too. It was great. And
what are we doing here in New York?
I don't know. I really don't know. I got laid on a cliff in Malibu.
Oh, Ooh, feels nice.
It was nice. So this was my first time having sex since the breast reduction. And it's like my first time having sex, like since I don't have like giant titties, like smacking somebody in the face when I'm on top. It was weird. It was like weird to like lean into it. Like the first time we had sex, I like kept my shirt on. And then the other like 4 times we had sex, I took my shirt off, but like kept my bra on. And I mean, he knew that I had a breast reduction, so I wasn't like explaining anything he didn't already know about, but I have these like silicone tapes on top of my nipples and they don't look weird. They're just like, there's a circle at the top and a long line and it's just on top of the scars. So I kept my bra on. He was like, you should just take it off. Like you'll be more comfortable. But I don't know. It was like the first time I was having sex with a person and the first time that I was having sex like post breast reduction. I mean, they're not really that reduced. So, you know, in 4 months, we'll go get it done again. I just like, yeah, well. Okay. But it was nice. I don't know. I felt really like comfortable. It's again like a little weird to have sex with somebody for the first time. I don't know. That was like my best performance of all time. I was a little dehydrated.
You need that romance kit. Plenty of lube in there. Lots of lube. It was a slippery situation.
Actually cannot recommend the romance kit.
And the massage oil. We were doing massages. I was like, what is life?
We were not. We didn't do all that. There was too many people around. You guys were alone. I was with like 8 people. Like, should I muffle my sounds? No. I had sex at full volume. Everybody there heard me. But yeah, I don't know. It was, it's a lot to like deal with your new body, but like I was like with somebody that like didn't make me feel bad about it. Yeah. Men don't care at all. He was like, what's the big deal? Just take your bra off.
I miss him every day.
He's a cute little face, doesn't he?
He gives the best face.
He does give the best face. I think that a lot of people are like, you know, when they're thinking about getting that kind of surgery, they're like, well, how will people react to these scars? Every man that I talked to before this was like, I've had sex with girls that have had breast reductions. I don't care. My scars are actually healing like really nicely. I don't know. I wouldn't have sex with a new person like without these like silicone tapes on, just on top of them. But in like a month I would. It's like healing pretty nicely.
Yeah.
So that was fun. That was a good time.
I know you texted me that you were laying out topless with this other girl that we met.
That was actually topless.
I was like, you better have SPF on those titties.
I know.
Because that will fuck your scars up.
Oh yeah. Well, I have sun exposure. Again, I have these silicone tapes and I rub my titties down with bio oil every day. And a lot of our listeners slid in and recommended stuff. So I got the full package. So I'm working on these titties every day. And then again, in 4 months, since they're still enormous, I'll just get it done again. I'm half serious.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about, no, I mean, it just, I don't know if people would be surprised to hear that. You've talked about it a little bit at the live shows, but you're not totally pleased.
Yeah, I don't want to be like so flippant about it. So they do say that your breasts do change a lot over 6 months. You got to give it time. They will fluctuate. Now that the swelling has gone down, I realize that they're like kind of still the exact same size. Like, I don't know that they're like much different than they were before. I don't really know what happened here, to be totally honest. And I spoke to my doctor about it and he was like, just give it a couple months, see how you feel. And then we'll do it again if you really need to. And so that's the fucking deal. So I'll reevaluate in a few months.
And it's not flippant at all. This is something that we've discussed at length and
cried about at length.
We both cried about it at length. So yeah, if you will, you'll keep everybody posted.
Yeah, but in terms,
I get emotional about it because I don't know. I didn't know we were going to talk about this. It's not exactly what you wanted, so
it's not, and it was a lot to go through. But looking back, I would do it all over again. The recovery was not so terrible, but I think that if you wake up from a surgery and you're truly like, I did not get what I wanted, and I spent thousands of dollars on something, or even if you spent $5 on something, you should speak up and not let somebody bully you into thinking that they did what you asked for if they didn't. So, again, we'll keep talking about it. We'll reevaluate. Maybe I'll buy new titties in 4 months. We'll see.
Oh, 2 breast reduction, Rayna Greenberg. You did some other stuff to your body.
I did. I got 3 tattoos last week, which some might say is a cry for help.
I mean, this guy you slept with, I feel like he inspired you because he had a bunch of crazy tattoos. And like, okay, can I talk about the face? He has tattoos on his legs, and we were like, he was showing us at
his
thighs, and one thigh, and we were in this bar, and he had his pants down because we were like, let's see him, and then we were all like looking at it, and then he goes, all right, show's over. And like something about the way he said it, he was like, show's over, and like pulled his pants up. We're just at the bar. It was so funny to me.
Ashley loves him.
I love him so
He's
much.
great. So the reason why I got 3, these are 3 that I've wanted to get for a while. Tattoos in New York are very expensive. The minimum can often be like $250 for the chair.
Yeah, so
for
I
the
didn't even realize
hour.
this because I was like, why is she going so ham? And then you like explain that it's just New York is not ideal for a bunch of tattoos.
Yeah, for small tattoos. If you want to get a big tattoo, it's great.
Yeah.
But they don't want you to come in and get like a tiny little baby thing.
Okay.
So that's why I got 3. I got 2 in LA. I got 1 in San Francisco. And now I have 3 more tats. One says snacks for you guys. And also I just like snacks, but mostly it's for you guys. One's this little like crown, this little baby crown, because my name means queen. And then the other one is my boobs, which I put on Instagram.
The boobs are so great. I mean, they're all great, but.
So I'm excited about it. I really leaned in. I feel like it edges me up a little bit.
I know. I was like, what is she doing here? I was like, really doing it?
Okay, guys, and if pineapple chicken tacos or falafel power bowls sound delicious, these recipes are some of HelloFresh's quick and easy meals that are ready in about 15 minutes. We want to thank HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit, for supporting Girls Gotta Eat. Go to HelloFresh.com/GGE50 and use the code GGE50 for 50% off plus free shipping. You know I love it. You know I feel that HelloFresh takes the hassle out of mealtime. In the spring, we want to be outside more. We want to be inviting people over more. So less time indoors, just prepping stuff. They send everything pre-portioned. The recipes are super easy to follow. I've always found everything I've made from there so delicious. And April is Earth Month, and HelloFresh is always committed to a cleaner planet. So on average, HelloFresh meals have a 31% lower carbon footprint than the same meals made from supermarket ingredients. Plus, nearly all HelloFresh packaging materials are curbside recyclable in most areas of the U.S. So we love that. Again, easy to make, no skill level required. Seriously, so much variety. They have tons of options every week. I'm just looking right now what they have. They've garden spinach ricotta ravioli, Greek goddess quinoa bowls. They have stuff for every season. They have stuff for lunch, dinner, snacks. Portion sizes are great and really, really super flexible if you ever need to skip a week, change your address, anything like that. I know you guys are going to love it, find it so delicious. Everything you make will be impressive. Right now, you can go to HelloFresh.com/GGE50 and use the code GGE50 for 50% off plus free shipping.
You have a list of things you want to talk about.
Well, not, I mean, I've mostly went through them. We were so close to meeting Beyonce in LA.
Oh my God. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, let's talk about it. We'll keep it discreet. So I have a friend and her husband, and they just are so wonderful. And they know a lot of people in LA, and they're just really kind to everybody. And so they walk into a restaurant, people like fall over them. They act like they are Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Honestly, I felt like I was Jay-Z and Beyonce at that restaurant.
Yeah, we were at this restaurant, very hot spot in LA. Everybody was coming by to kiss the ring. Like it was just like, it was crazy. They treated us so well. But they have like a special table they usually sit at this restaurant, and they know the owner, and he had texted, or one of the managers or whatever, and he had texted, he was like, hey man, Beyonce and Jay-Z want to come in tonight. So can we give them that table? We can put you guys at the bar.
Can we give them that table?
Yeah, insane. And they've been there before. Like Jay-Z and Beyonce go there. Like it's just nuts.
So we get a screenshot of this text message, and immediately I was like, I got to change my whole outfit. All 3 of us changed our outfits immediately so we could be in the right vibe.
I wore a show outfit. I wore my San Diego leather romper. But they ended up not coming in because it was just kind of a crazy night. We were asking them, they've been there before, and they were in like the back room, and it was someone's birthday, and Beyonce literally sang happy birthday to this person. I mean, can you imagine?
I imagine it every day.
I can't even.
Crazy.
So they were like going to come in, and it was just the where they would have sat them. They said there was like this big party of like TikToker type people, and they just didn't feel like it was the right night. It was a Friday night, like for Jay and Bay to come in. So we didn't get to see them. But another thing on my list, I took the best nude I've ever taken.
You guys, it was crazy. And also, I sent Ashley all my nudes, by the way. I sent Ashley and the girl that's coming on the show today, Emily. I send them both all my nudes. What'd you say to me? I didn't send it to you because I can't have this out there in the world.
I just don't want it out there. I don't know if it goes up in the cloud. Like I didn't want to send it to anybody. I showed you.
Didn't want it out there in the world.
I showed it to everybody at dinner.
All my nudes. Anyways, it was incredible. You should describe how you did it, because I've never seen anybody do something like that.
All right. So let me describe it.
A lot of work.
I got inspired. It wasn't actually, listen, that guy that I slept with, I showed it to him. I didn't send it to him. I don't want him to have it. You know, I don't know what's going to happen.
No, I would never like stick a string.
Yeah. So, but I did show it to him. We were like laying at the pool. I was like, you want to see this nude?
Do you know how upset I would be if you sent it to him and not me?
Yeah, no, nobody has it. A lot of people have seen it. I've been passing it around. So I wanted to do, a shower nude because I, fucked a lot in the showers at the various pendries on this trip. And so I ran the water like to get it hot. So it was like steamy. This is like going to be really hard to explain. I basically set my phone up on the counter front facing to like face the shower, and then the shower, obviously glass wall. And then I went into the shower and it like took a picture of me through the glass when it was like a bunch of like, it's like all steamy and there's like water running down it. And so it was like, you could see my like nipples. I mean, you could see I was naked. You could see like a little bit of my vagina, but it wasn't so obvious because I was kind of like filtered by the water.
This wasn't hard to describe. This is easy to describe. Okay. It was amazing. I feel like this is really easy to set up. Let me ask you I would love to have watched you. How many times did you take it? First try?
That was the first one. No, the first one wasn't good. And then that was the second one. And then I was like, can I do better? And you like hit a good one. You're like, that's going to be the one. I did a few more and they weren't as good. I tried to like turn around and do my ass. That was a mess. Mm-hmm. So
what was the timer set at? 15?
10.
You were Russian.
It was right there, one step away.
It's hard for me.
I just popped into the shower.
I think it's honestly one of the sexiest nudes I've ever seen. It's really subtle. I love the idea. You guys should do it and replicate it. And you can send it to me because Ashley wouldn't send it to me.
Oh, my, do you want it?
Yeah, I want it.
I don't want it.
You can cover your titties with emojis. It's so hot. I mean, I'm not sending you my full bush nudes. Like, I don't have a bush, but if I did, I mean, I cover my stuff up. Okay, I will tell you, I have never been tagged or DM'd more things than Britney Spears' nudes because she covers her nipples with little diamond emojis. Her and Kendall Jenner. People are so mad. The public is upset.
Her whole Instagram right now is just her titties. Like,
people are upset that my nudes got taken down.
We agree you should be able to have your titties on Instagram, but like it's not fair that yours got taken down and then you got shadow banned and Britney's out here just titties every day.
Every day. And so it really scares me when I wake up and I either have like 30 comments on something when I haven't posted something.
Yeah.
Or I have like dozens of DMs. I'm like, oh my God, we're canceled. What's happening? But it's been all about Britney this week.
Yeah.
So that's what's been happening to me.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for your support. I understand that she has tens of millions of followers and Instagram prioritizes her over me.
Whatever. I mean, it shouldn't matter. It should be the same standards for everybody.
I know. Free Rayna.
Free Rayna's nipples. Okay. The last thing I had on my list, the best stand-up special I've ever seen. Ever. I mean, that spoke to me. Yeah, I'm going to say ever. Okay. Is Ali Wong's Don Wong. And it's out on Netflix. First of all, the name, I think about it every day. It is the best name of a special I've ever heard. It is the most perfect because she's like a boss. Like it's like this very,
the whole thing.
The whole thing is like she's this boss. Like she's talking about how she wanted monogamy, and we'll talk about it. But like the theme coupled with the name Don Wong, I just can't get over it. I think about it every single day. I can't get over how perfect it is.
It was really phenomenal. I stayed home after I think I stayed in on like Friday night.
We had to stay in a couple nights. We were going for like 12 nights.
Well, we didn't stay home that night. I went at midnight. I watched it. You went out. But it is so phenomenal. And she really speaks to, at first, like women that make more money than men and women that are more successful than the people that they're dating. And I don't want to give all of her jokes away, but it is so
like let's just
funny.
say this, like there's some spoilers because I want to talk about a couple of the jokes.
To me, it really spoke to me. And she's just talking about like getting a blowjob from one that makes more money. And she's like, she is busy. She has things to do. And she is sucking your dick. I mean, it is amazing. Watching her speak about that. She speaks about her marriage a lot. The last two specials, if you guys watch them, she's pregnant for both of those. She talked a lot about childbirth and having kids. This was more like her marriage. And I don't know. There's stuff you want to talk about in it.
No, the beginning is all about female comedians versus male comedians and how like an average male comedian, when he gets any notoriety, his dating pool expands. And for a woman, it like decreases. Like it's crazy. It's like, it hit me so hard. And then, it's talking about like successful women sucking dick and like getting like when she was talking about coming on her face and stuff like that. But I mean, when I was sucking this guy's dick, I was like, I had her in my head going like, do you know how many self-made female millionaires there are in this world? And she wants to put your dick in her mouth. I was just like, I couldn't help it. I just kept thinking about it.
I am going to think about Ali Wong every time I suck a dick now.
I know.
I really am. And it is like the way that I've never been able to articulate it the way that she did, but when the way that she explained that, like, I mean, not just female comedians and people with notoriety, any person, anytime a man makes a bunch of money, his dating pool drastically expands, and women, as they go up the ranks and they make more money, I wouldn't say that it decreases, but it's always in your head. Like, will somebody feel intimidated by my success, by my money? And women have asked that for years of us.
Yeah.
And, you know, do you think men are intimidated by my success? And I thought that she perfectly just articulated it. It's an incredible special.
It's just so fucking funny. And, you know, she talks about like how great it is. She's jealous of single people. I mean, she talks about her husband stuff too at the end, who's like perfectly matched for her and being a mom and all that kind of stuff. But I cannot recommend it enough. You guys, oh my gosh. Kate told me, she was like, Ashley, you have to watch this. She like hammered me. She was like, please just watch it. Watch it tonight. Like, watch it whenever. And I was like, okay, Kate, fine. But then you started telling me about some of the jokes and I was like, what?
It's like, is this us?
Oh, I mean,
100%.
Excuse me? Like the sucking dick stuff. I was just like, oh my God.
She's brilliant. Anytime somebody asks me, what are your favorite comedy specials? I always list her because I really love Tom Segura, John Mulaney, and Nate Bargatze. They're like my favorite, but these are all like white Christian males. And so like when somebody says, what are your favorites? I'm always like, you have to watch Ali Wong. She is so outside of the box of any comedian you've ever seen. The way she speaks about her life experience is so different than anybody I've ever seen. She's just phenomenal. And we want to have her on the show. So listen, if you're her agent or something, just reach out to us.
Yes.
We'll also email like a normal person.
Bella, get Ali Wong.
Get Ali Wong.
When she said her husband's living the life she wanted for herself, my mind like exploded. Like I was like, that was one of the best like lines, like observations. Like I was just, oh my God, I'll never get over it. Don Wong, you guys.
Check it out. It's on Netflix. It's unbelievable.
Never be another better special name.
Ever.
Never.
Maybe we'll come up with a better one.
No, we won't. There's nothing that can beat it.
Like, oh my God, Azul's like really in my face. He's so cute.
It's your birthday week.
George is across the room. George doesn't like it. George. You guys, Bella has a dog. His name is George. Him and Azul are gay together. It's cute.
George is just gay for Azul.
Azul just hangs out.
George can't keep his tongue out of Azul's mouth. He doesn't understand boundaries or consent. It's okay. Azul's sweet. He takes it because he's a Pisces. You guys know what I mean. We're not saying you should, you guys get it. It's jokes. They're dogs.
Jokes, relax. We're having fun.
I think I got through my list.
Yay.
Okay, I am so excited to tell you all about this show. I just got done watching it. We got the screeners in advance. I laughed. I cried. I cannot recommend the show enough. You guys are going to love it so much. So this is Hulu's Tiny Beautiful Things. We are so honored that Girls Gotta Eat is sponsored by Tiny Beautiful Things, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. You already know how I feel about it. I'm obsessed. So Claire is played by Katherine Hahn, and she is a floundering writer who surprisingly becomes a revered advice columnist, all while her own life is falling apart. It is based on Cheryl Strayed's New York Times bestselling book, new Hulu original series, and it really is this raw and honest journey of self-discovery where the past is essential to understanding the present. Executive producers behind Little Fires Everywhere, which I was obsessed with, The Morning Show, and Big Little Lies. Oh my gosh. So you know it's going to be good. Again, starring Emmy nominee Katherine Hahn. Drama, revelations, laughs. Like, I'm not kidding when I tell you that I laughed out loud and also ugly cried. And it's got family and career and self-discovery, quite honestly. It's a perfect reminder that broken is a beautiful place to start. It is deeply moving, and it's one that you don't want to miss. Acting is incredible. Every character, and I just can't recommend it enough. I really want you guys to watch this and trust me on this. Tiny Beautiful Things premieres Friday, April 7th, streaming only on Hulu.
Okay, are we ready for your friend?
Yes, our friend now. You guys, I'm so excited to finally have one of my absolute best friends, a long requested guest. You guys have asked us to have her on. You've slid into her DMs and asked when she's coming on. She is just the best person in the whole world. So one of my best friends, more my friend, but now Ashley's friend, Emily Fedner.
Hi, everyone. Hi. I am so excited to be here.
We're so excited to have you. Yes, Emily and I have our own special bond.
Ashley and I talk about Peloton all the time, Rayna.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll text her in the day earlier than I
might
text
not
you.
include it. I'm a Peloton person too.
You know the bike.
Honestly, yeah. Honestly, you can't sit with us.
We're like, you play it on your TV. It's
I
weird for us.
have a better bike. I love my bike. Snorting track.
Nope.
All right.
Ashley gets a Peloton class text first.
You guys do side text about it.
What else do we side text about? Sometimes just like boys.
Sometimes
Life
boys.
stuff.
Yeah.
A Peloton related boy.
Yeah, exactly.
I think of the two people in the world I'm on the most group texts with. It's you, both the two of you, the most group texts with other people.
Yeah.
And then you guys are like we'll be on one with 4 people and then 3 people and then one. We're on like the side texts of the side texts.
It's so many. And then I'm like, do I send this to just Emily or Emily and Rayna? Like, I just don't. And you probably have a whole bunch more. But anyway, Emily.
So Emily,
tell us about yourself.
So we met when I was still doing food blogging. You're a huge food blogger. You have this incredible account, Food Lover's Diary. You cook. You do all kinds of food adventures, a lot of unbelievable immigrant cuisines. You are a writer, a photographer. You have an incredible business. You're a chef also and former publicist. You're everything.
Yeah, I know. I forgot about when you were like a legit chef.
Yeah, I sometimes I'm like, whoa, I did that. I don't even remember that.
It was like so hot.
She did that.
She did that.
I did that. Yeah, I have done. I mean, I'm just incredibly passionate about the food industry. Always have been. Have worked in restaurants since I was 15, and ever since I moved to LA and New York, I've kind of just made a point of becoming familiar with and learning about every facet of the industry. So I kind of started as a publicist, then I became a line cook when I realized I wanted to get closer to the source, and it all kind of went from there. But all the while I was building Food Lover's Diary, which is my Instagram account, my like food blog, where I primarily explore immigrant-owned restaurants and just like all the immigrant cuisines that make New York and America so special.
Yeah, and your parents are immigrants.
Yeah.
You grew up in Ohio, but they're
My parents were born in Ukraine, former Soviet Union. So they immigrated actually when they were my age. They were 28 with my 5-year-old older sister in tow, and they left the Soviet Union as refugees. Had a long immigration. They were in Austria and Italy for 6 months, and then settled in Columbus, Ohio, of all places.
So exotic.
Someone was literally like, I heard there's jobs in Ohio, or like someone's cousin. And
We love Ohio.
Yeah.
I mean, but
we are huge. Ashley was wearing the Ohio sweatshirt in the Pittsburgh airport.
I just love Ohio. I'm a huge fan of the state.
I am too. I mean, I left, but
I mean, I just think you're so incredible. And also it's like, I don't know. I mean, you were like, I'm going to be a food person. I'm going to actually like work in a kitchen and like be a chef.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think it's like so admirable. And you're just like the best cook. We went over there, like it was right after Dewey died. And Rayna was like, do you want to go to Emily's? And I was like, I don't know if I like want to be around people, but I came to your place and you made these dumplings and it was just so great.
I loved having you. I love I mean, I just genuinely love cooking for people. And yeah, I feel like I am the opposite of fake it till you make it. I'm like, I don't believe I've ever made it, and I'm going to do.
Well, you're like walk the walk, like or walk the walk, talk the talk. Like you're like, I'm gonna like not just. I'm gonna like.
I don't want to like be like I'm a chef. I still don't call myself a chef ever, but I just am genuinely interested in really learning everything, and then wine school as well. Just everything I do, I like to become an expert in it.
I mean, she was like, people were in quarantine. Emily was like making cookbooks. I was like, who was
2 ebooks?
Too productive. Stop.
I know.
You're making us all feel bad.
I think you look at somebody and you're like, how did you get so successful? And for Emily, it's like, it's not an accident. You know, this is purposeful. Like I did food PR. I worked in restaurants. You have a wine certification. You cook every day. I have loved our food tours together. Like for example, you took me to Brighton Beach and we went, it was a predominantly Russian area. We went to all these restaurants, trying all this new food, and you speak Russian and you were able to like just really pull out all the coolest, best, most unique things. And that's one of the things that I'm so obsessed with your food blog and your Instagram so much about and have been, because it's just like, it's not the same thing that you find literally everywhere on everybody else's page.
I mean, I think there's so many amazing restaurants in New York City and there's so many amazing people who cover these restaurants, but I really wanted to make sure that I was, using my space to promote the immigrant-owned restaurants, the hidden gems, the places that don't have PR, the places that aren't inviting you in, and the places that you probably wouldn't go to unless you really made a point of it. I just think it's so unique. It's what all these other really big famous restaurants. It's a lot of them are inspired by these mom and pop shops, and that's what I want to highlight.
She said hidden gems.
Hidden gems.
I love the hidden gems.
I love hidden gems.
Well, the reason you're here today.
Oh my God. I like felt that coming on.
Well, when I met you, you had a boyfriend. I was always really close with him. And I do want to start this episode by saying I really care about him. And he's always been really great to me. So he has been a friend of mine for years since I met you. And you can talk about your own relationship, but we'll talk about the relationship. But right before Thanksgiving, you called me, and I feel like choked up. But my phone rang at night, and you were like hysterical, and you were like, he left me and he broke up with me, and I have just like watched you handle this in such an incredible way, and watched you handle your life and processing the emotions in a great way and moving on. And I feel like I'm like crying, whatever. It's fine.
I'm definitely going to cry for sure.
I've watched you really like blossom into your own and, build your own life outside of him and date again. And it's been really inspiring. So I think the story will be really beautiful to other people.
Rayna.
I'm going to stop crying now.
Well, yeah. So basically what happened is I have been in a relationship for essentially my entire 20s. We met when I was 20 and we started dating when I was around 23. And I had no reason to feel like he was not the one. So I thought he was the one. And, we built this life together. We grew up together. I was really close to this family. And I really thought that was it for me. And I never, ever would have envisioned a world where that would have ended. And I remember it was kind of funny because just the week before all this happened, I was walking with my friend on the streets in Williamsburg, and I was just like, if my ex breaks up with me, because to back it up, I just found out about another friend who had broken off her engagement after 8.5 years. And I was like, holy shit, how does anyone do that? Like, if my ex broke up with me, I would literally be in a straitjacket. Like, I would not survive that. And then 1 week later, we don't have to get too granular, but basically what happened was I was completely shocked and surprised that he broke up with me out of nowhere. And that's not something I ever expected. And it's not what I thought I wanted. And it was really, really difficult. I basically immediately, my twin sister got me a flight to Ohio in the morning. That's where my parents are. And I was like a shell of myself for a week. And I remember calling you, and I remember I couldn't even like open my mouth without crying at that point. I was not sure. It was the worst few days of my life thus far, for sure. So that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that you are a super independent person. Like, I don't think it was like some codependency that you had on him. But when you felt yourself being like, if he leaves me, I won't be okay. Was it just because of like not being able to imagine your life without him? Like, you had built something together, you lived together, obviously you're on the lease together. Was it just like, I don't know what it looks like without him kind of thing?
Yeah, it was. That is the thing. Like, I always had my own life, and my own friends and all that stuff. But I think it was because I was so deeply, after almost 6 years with someone, you're so deeply intertwined with them. You're intertwined with their family. You've envisioned this entire life for yourself. You have a direction. Your life is not just your life, it's our life. And it's, where are we going to live? What are we going to do? What do we want from life? To envision all of that going away is pretty unfathomable when you've spent that many years building it together. And I think that's really what was shocking me. That, and, I loved him so much. Like, I thought he was, I thought he was the greatest guy ever. I mean, I still think he's a great guy despite how it went down, you know?
I think after your first, if you've never had a really horrific loss in terms of a breakup, you don't know that you'll ever survive it. And you've said that to me for years. If he ever leaves me, I would die. I would never survive it. It'd be the worst. And I used to say to you, you're going to be fine. Because I mean, I've been there too, where like the person I thought that I had an entire future with walked in the door and left me, exactly like happened to you. And I just remember thinking like, okay, do I know anybody that's ever survived something so terrible? And then I was like, oh, both of my parents, have lost out on the life they quote unquote thought they would always have. And they survived, but you don't know that at the time.
I think it's so tough at the age too. Cause I mean, I think once you really come into your own, whatever, I like to say it's like in your, you're 30 or whatever, there's like, coming of age at 27, like again, everybody's different, but like it gets a little easier. Like you literally were like, when we started dating, I was like 23. Like that's so different than being like 29, like I can imagine you were like, who is she? Like, who is she outside of this relationship?
I mean, exactly. Like we just listed all those random things I've done with my career. Like he has been next to me through all those things. He has seen me through every phase of my life and of becoming an adult and becoming who I am now. Like there is really something to be said for that. And it's really special. And it's like you will not get that back. So the next people I date, I won't have that with them. And it was just really hard for me to realize that this person that I've grown up with is, you know, it stops here. Like that chapter's over.
Right.
And it was really, really tough. And that's, you know, that's why I called Rayna, because that's exactly what went through my head. I was like, who do I know? Like, first of all, I wasn't telling anyone because I just was like, like, you don't know which way is up. Like, just happened to me. Yeah. It was so incredibly shocking. But I remember having that thought. I was like, who do I know who's been through this? And I just called Rayna and I heard her voice and it made me start, obviously I was crying and then she started crying. And then, but to just hear her talk about what she went through with her ex was really incredibly comforting at that time. It was comforting to hear. I don't know if I was like fully digesting anything at that point, but it was just like a comfort to know so many people have gone through this and they've survived and they've thrived, because that's what I was scared of. I was like, that's what I was most scared of. Like, what happens next? Like, what do I do?
I mean, you can't even picture, like, it's like you feel manic. I felt like that, I felt like that in my life. You're just like, how the hell am I going to like wake up tomorrow and be okay?
Mm-hmm. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't eating. It was the whole, I was keeping really weird hours. I was just like, when will I ever be normal? And what I've kind of learned is you're not ever going to go back to the same normal. You're never going to be normal again. You will just change and your life will change, but you're not ever going to go back to the normal. There's a new normal.
Mm-hmm. I think in that moment you're in so much pain that you're like, I don't know how I'm ever going to survive this. It's like the worst pain you will ever feel in your life. I mean, short of losing a parent or somebody that you love, like actually dying, like this is really the death of a future. And it is like a pain you like can't even imagine ever going away. It's like so intense.
I don't want to be like controversial, but I almost think that when someone passes away, there's more of like a finite ending. When someone chooses to leave you and not be with you, but they still exist in this world. And you know, like there's no conclusive ending there. It's just like they left and you have to move on knowing they still exist and they're still out there is just like a special form of torture. But yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, the pain when someone breaks up with you, I never had experienced it. Like I said, that's the thing. I feel like stunted in so many ways because I'm going through things now that people go through and they're like 23, 24, 25. And I'm like, I'm 29. How the fuck do I set up my internet?
Thank God you said that, because earlier you said you're 28 and I was like, but you're not.
Did I? No,
yeah.
My parents. Okay, I'm going to turn 30 soon. I'll be the last friend in my 30s. I know I get it. Last friend to reach 30. I'm 20, my 20s now. Okay. Anyways, yes, it was a time, and it took me, I ended up staying at my parents' house for a few weeks, and then I went to the West Coast, etc., while I was trying to figure out what the hell would happen next.
I mean, it's kind of nice though, because I think you got it over with. And I think everybody has like one debilitating heartbreak. And I think once you go through it, you're like, whew, that's over. Like you'll get your heart broken again. You'll get fucked up again. But like, I just don't think it will ever hurt as bad as that first time. And you're like, I'm out. I'm out of the woods. I think, I'm sure people have had different experiences, but I don't think I'll ever feel as heartbroken as I like did with my ex, you know, and same to you probably, you know.
I just have the foresight now to know, like I've talked about this all the time for years, but my fiance walked in the door and told me he was leaving me like the day after our engagement party. So I thought I was going to die. Now I know, like, I think some people are like, how do you not bring baggage from a previous relationship to the next one? For me, it's like, I know that a relationship's going to be different. And I also know no matter what happens, I am me and I got me and I'm going to be okay. No matter what. I don't want to say I'm necessarily grateful for going through that pain, but it is, I've gone through like a lot of things in my life. Like I feel like I've done a lot of living in 29 years and I've had a lot of painful and shitty experiences, but not to be cheesy, but something Robin from Peloton always says really sticks with me because she's always like, you've survived yeah, it's her or it's Kendall. Well, I think it's Robin. She's like,
we're Tunde. We're like somebody.
Anyways, it's a Peloton girl. And they're like, you have survived 100% of your bad days. And
I love that. That feels like Robin.
Yes, it's definitely Robin vibes. And I mean, she's just a badass in general. I find a lot of comfort in the badass women that surround me. And that's kind of what got me through, especially those initial few weeks, is knowing like the worst things that you think could ever happen to you, it will suck and it will feel like you will never survive it, but you will be okay.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's like the most simple but reassuring advice. Like I've even had people just come to me with when their dog dies and they're like, I just know I'll be okay because of you know, just like you find like one like beacon of light of like this terrible thing happened to this person and like they're thriving, you know, and you are thriving now. And we talk about it all the time. Like, I don't know that I've seen a post breakup thrive more than you. I mean, just like you were, when you were apartment searching, I mean, let's talk about the journey, but I was like, this bitch just got like totally fucked up. Like, and she's just on this apartment search in New York City, which is just a living hell. And you have your own place and you're just, I mean, is it time? Can we transition?
Well, before we talk about how you've gone through the breakup, I think it would be good to give a little background on like sort of your thoughts leading up to it.
Okay. Sorry.
No, it's just great.
I'm like, you said Robin, and I'm like, now I'm getting too amped up.
We mentioned Peloton, you're on one.
Yes. I'm like, how did you get through it, girl?
The conversations I can't be a part of. I'll let you, I don't want to put any words in your mouth or give away too much information. So I think that you were with somebody for like, what, 6.5, 7 years, and he's just like a great person. He's really nice and smart and successful and interesting. And you guys had like a great friendship. He's like, of all my friends, he's one of like the significant others I enjoyed spending time with the most. He was always like included in everything. But I think that you started to like hear a voice in your head maybe that was like, is this forever? I'm not sure. But I have this perfect person, and is it worth going out into the world to have all the shit that everybody else has? So like, can we talk about maybe how you felt a little bit?
Yeah, of course. So I don't think this is news to anyone, but you're not the same person at 23 that you are at 29 or 28, or, you know, I'm 29.
However old you're parading to be.
Yeah, however old you pretend.
I am also 28. I would like to come out as being 28.
I identify as 28.
I identify as 48, which is why my advice is so good.
Exactly. Yeah. I actually identify as 65.
Oh my God. I kind of identify as 22 right now.
You're on one.
So everything,
You're on one.
Everything is going on. But yeah, so before I started dating my ex, and throughout the time that I was dating my ex, I'm a very social person. I love going out. I love meeting people. I love going to bars and restaurants. And I've just always been that person. I love being social. And I feel like I did get to this point probably a year and a half, like around COVID time when everyone was questioning their existence. I got to this point where I was like, is this it? I started getting really nervous. Like I would kind of have anxiety attacks about it, like little mini anxiety attacks every once in a while. Where I was like, is this the life I want? Is this it? Is this and am I ever going to have sex with anyone else again? Like that was a big one. That was a big one I kept thinking about. And I don't mean that as a slight to him. I just mean that as that's a natural thought to have. And I thought I was like some evil monster for having it. And I would like try to shove it down because I was like, this person's perfect on paper. I love his family. I love him. I love the life we're building. I could see the future so clearly, but it's just something I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I never cheated on my ex-boyfriend, but I definitely had moments where I felt tested and felt very just overwhelmed and very like almost claustrophobic in a way. And I don't even know how to put it. It was like really suffocating, and it was really difficult to go through because I was like, Emily, you cannot implode this thing that is your future, that this is your life. This is the person you love. You cannot do this. And there was not like any specific scenario or anything. I'm just saying in general, like, and I could not allow myself to even entertain these thoughts, but I was getting really restless towards then. I just decided that the best cure for me would be just to squash it down. But little did I know, now I'm almost certain that he was probably having those same thoughts.
Yeah, I think it's, I mean, I remember saying to you, because I mean, you never did anything wrong, but I think that you were like, am I never going to get attention from another man? Do I never get to like flirt with another man? That's a scary thought when you're 29, like this is it. Even if the sex is really great with your current partner and you love them, it's not personal to them at all. We're all independent people. We're allowed to have independent feelings. And I said to you, I promise you, he's just human. He's having these thoughts too. And you're like, he's perfect. He's this perfect person. He's an angel. He never would. And I think that we all think that about our partners, but like internally we're all human. And I think it's hard to accept that just like that it's not that he wasn't enough. It's just that like you want other experiences. Everybody does.
And I also think that being a woman, and this is probably an energy thing more than anything else, but I started noticing that like I wasn't really getting attention from other men anymore. And I didn't think I needed that. I was like, I have everything. I mean, I have this thing that everyone else wants. Like I have this amazing relationship. Like, why the hell do I need this dude at a bar to hit on me? I don't. But there was a part of me that was like, damn, I really miss getting attention from guys. I miss being able to flirt with guys. Like, do I still have it? Like, what's even going on? Like, is this part of me just completely turned off for the rest of my life? And then I marry this person and then I'm 60 and then I look back and I'm like, that was it for me. That ended there. And that was really, really scary.
Had you ever thought about bringing this up to him before he kind of beat you to the punch, I guess? Like, had you, I mean, that sounds really harsh, but like, had you thought about talking to him about it? Or were you like, you just shoved it down? I have
extreme anxiety, severe anxiety.
No one's more anxious in the world.
Literally no one. I promise. Rayna knows.
It knows no bounds.
Oh my God.
It's cute.
Sure. It's really fun.
It's fun for me.
I'm not saying anxiety disorders is cute. Leave me alone. Okay. She's cute. I'm saying she is cute.
She's cute. The anxiety is not. It's a big fat monster. So in short, no, I was so scared to bring it up.
Yeah.
There were like times in our relationship where there were more serious things to be brought up. And I just feel like I let him lead because I was so, I don't know how to, I was so just, this is it. Just like, don't do anything that could rock this boat or ruin this for you. The person I dated prior to him, the only other relationship I had, if you even want to call it that, was like extremely toxic and extremely mentally abusive. So going from that and then dating a string of guys that were like so wrong for me, I was just like, this is it. You cannot do anything to fuck this up. And I was just scared to bring up any issues, to be honest.
I relate to that feeling because I remember feeling like with my fiance, like this is this wonderful person who's a great teammate to me that I trust, and he's so hot, and like we do have fun together, and he treats me so well. Like I remember thinking like, what is so rotten about me that this is like not enough? It would be enough for literally everyone else, but like we weren't having sex really, and I didn't really enjoy anything he had to say, to be completely honest. I didn't find him that interesting, but I kept thinking like, everybody else wants this like super hot, really nice, fun partner, and I fucking got it. Jackpot. Like,
and why can't you just be happy with it?
Why can't I just be happy with this? Like, what is wrong with me?
I mean, I remember there was a moment, like, I guess I'm going to say this, but there was a moment where I was sitting and we were like having dinner and he was telling me about something to do with his company, which is in the cryptocurrency space. It's not something I personally care about.
No one with a vagina cares about it.
And I was trying to talk about these cool new restaurants that were opening. And I like had this really kind of come to Jesus moment. And I was like, we are like really different people. And were we always like this? Like, was it always kind of hard to like sit down and have a conversation that each other enjoy? I was just like, I don't want to talk about what he wants to talk about. He doesn't really care that much about what I want to talk about. I guess this is normal.
I think that your ex was really smart and nice and kind. And even right after my ex and I broke up, I went over and hung out with the two of you, and he had great insight. And I do think he has like a lot to say, but you guys did seem to sort of live parallel lives, if I can call it that. Like he didn't really want to like be a running mate to you. I mean, I can't put words into his own mouth, but you guys didn't socialize the same way, and you didn't seem to have the same interests. And his life was exciting because you made it exciting. But I don't know if you guys at that point really had the same interests anymore.
I think that's, he was really supportive and just so supportive of everything I wanted to do. And in every way was a big cheerleader for me and so wonderful. But that doesn't mean that he was the person for me.
No, it's funny that I was talking with a guy friend of mine. His name's Oscar. He's like a newer friend. So he doesn't like know me in and out like my close friends. And he was like asking me what I wanted in a partner. And I was explaining that I really want someone who like is, really doing it, and they're ambitious and they're successful and they're on my level, and I don't feel like I'm emasculating them and all this stuff. And he was like, well, what if you just had somebody that was like, just really like, they weren't any of that, but they were really supportive. And I go, who cares? And the way I'm scared to The way that he looked at me and laughed, he was like, Ashley, I was like, I don't need it. I have so much support.
We have all our best friends.
Yes, I don't need the like stay at home supportive boyfriend. And like, but he was like, I will never forget you screaming, who cares? Like there's so much more for me. I want to be challenged and excited and like crazy, amazing sex. Like supportive is great. Yes, that too. But like, don't get it twisted. Like I think some people are like, he's so supportive and he loves me and he's just like my best cheerleader. It's like, all right. You know who else is really supportive? Rayna.
My dad.
my mom is great.
Yeah, me actually. It's funny you say that because I was on our friend Allie Colbert's show and she's like, "What are you looking for in a partner?" And I was like, "I want somebody who's like ambitious and like really fucking doing it and fucks the dog shit out of me." And she was the way that she was like, "Wow, you have like really high standards." And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And until I find it, I don't need anybody.
I don't need it. Yeah, but I think I wanted to go back to something you said, Emily, because I think a lot of people that are with somebody for a long time, whether they are in their 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s or whatever, like have those doubts. And it doesn't, I think some people have them and they're fleeting because they're natural. And I think then they come around and they're like, no, I love my partner and this is like what the life I want to live. And I think probably what you dealt with was like, probably kept coming up. Like, I think we all have that voice inside of us. And like, I think a woman, especially an intuitive woman, like it won't quit.
That's exactly it. And I feel like I did a lot of convincing of myself. Like I convinced myself over and over again, like this is normal, you know, getting a little bored is normal, feeling a little restless is normal. Like I didn't know what was normal and what was really worth validating and exploring. And I was too scared to even explore it or consider it to really go down that path. So I just kept telling myself that it was normal. And, you know, listen, at the end of the day, we all settle. You settle for someone, you choose that person, you grow with that person. They're going to have drawbacks. They're going to have issues. You guys are going to have to work on things. But I had chosen my person and I had decided to settle. And I'm pretty fiercely loyal like that. Like I was like, okay, this is it for me. And even though I'm having these thoughts, I'm going to squash them because this is normal and we're going to get over it. It ebbs and flows. When you've been together for 6 years, you've experienced several ebbs and flows at that point. So I just thought it was another normal phase. It wasn't. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. I mean, I think the best thing happened to you. He like made the decision for you. I mean, I know it hurt, but like, thank God, right?
I mean, I would have, and I'm being so honest here, I don't think I would have ever. I think I would have cheated on him before I would have broken up with him. For sure.
Absolutely, you would have. I mean, I don't know, I'm not you, but I also like. I feel like I remember like feeling like my wedding was like staring down the barrel of a gun, and that like I was just gonna have to like carry this person forever, and the sex was gonna be mediocre. I wouldn't have left him if my life depended on it. I would have marched my ass down that aisle. Oh my God, big smile on my face. I would have been divorced in a year.
I would have learned about cryptocurrency for the rest of my life.
He was the first person to explain NFTs to me.
Her boyfriend?
Every once in a while you hear a situation like this and both parties are having those doubts and then they go out into the world and they reunite and come back together. I don't think that's going to happen with you guys. That's not your person. But like it can go so many different ways. And I just think people that are having those thoughts, especially in their 20s, like it's so normal.
And so basically, as like we've touched on, what ended up happening was I was having these thoughts, these doubts, everything we've discussed. And then he beat me to the punch and he is the one who broke up with me. And I was completely blindsided. I hate overusing that word. I think everyone thinks that they were blindsided in their breakup because breakups are...
No, you are. You can say it.
No, you are.
But I really do feel like I was shocked and blindsided by the breakup. And I would have never done it. But it really did end up being one of the, I think, will be one of the best things that ever happened to me. And I feel like it's cheesy to say because it fucking sucks. It was the worst few weeks of my life. I have never felt less worthy. I've never felt more of a shell of myself. I have never felt that level of sadness that feels like someone's literally like sitting on your chest and like will not get up because you can't breathe. But it ultimately ends up being a good thing almost every time, I think.
I agree. And I think there's ego wrapped up in it too. You're like, how do you get to break up with me? Like I was the one having doubts. Like most humans, unless you're just so evolved, like it's ego. It's to get dumped, to get broken up with. Like you're like, what? Like that is wrapped up in it too.
Yeah.
With the loss of this life, with the loss of what you thought your future looked like. It's like, I got broken up with. Like, oh my, you feel it's like crushing.
It's crushing. And then, I mean, I just feel like he kept repeating how much he loves me and how amazing I am. I'm like, then why the fuck did you break up with me?
Yeah, why don't you make it worse? Like, what?
Like, what? But no, exactly. It's like, you and I feel like there's a lot. So I had a lot of friends I talked to during the process, and I feel like everyone kind of brings their own personality to the table. Like I had friends that were like, fuck him, like you should be so mad. And then I had friends like Rayna who'd been through it that were like really letting me lead with what my real emotions were. And what my primary emotion was sadness, honestly. It was just really extreme, deep sadness. But yeah, so that was in November. And we've moved on.
So when do you have a moment where you felt like the smoke cleared, I guess, a little bit? Like you could like see the light through how many metaphors am I going to use?
I love it. Let's string a couple together.
See the light through the woods. No.
There's a silver lining, a cloud.
Was there like a moment when you said, because it's hard to let go of the blindsiding to begin with. I think when somebody, the way you said it, and I probably will butcher how you said it, but you said like he made this decision and he left me out of the conversation. Like, was that the hardest thing to sort of let go of, like how he did it before you were able to like ruminate over like now this has happened?
You know what? I think I pretty quickly moved on from how it happened, because I think I quickly realized that there were issues and that it happened. Okay. It happened. I hated the way it happened, but it happened. I'm never going to be the person that dwells so intensely on the idea of closure or the idea of how it happened. There was no point at that point to analyze it because the conclusion was the same. We had broken up and I had to move on. Like I didn't want to get back together. I didn't think, of course, for the first few days, I was like, I would do anything to have him back. Like I miss him. I want to be with him. But then pretty quickly I realized, listen, I was having these doubts too. So instead of dwelling endlessly on how it happened and driving myself insane with the details and some of the things he said during, the breakup, instead of doing that, I was like, the story might be different, but the ending is the same. So let's just move on.
I love that quote. And also, him and he didn't sit around and think, how can I fuck her up the worst way I can? Like, not everybody knows how to handle a breakup of this magnitude. It's like, it's tough. Like, I'm not siding with him or whatever. I think, I'm sure it could be handled differently. It's not my place to say, but like people get so wrapped up in that. And it's like, if you really knew this person, if you really knew their heart, do you really think they did this to hurt you? Do you really think they wanted to handle it in a way? Like, there's no perfect breakup. Like, do you really think I think, didn't you probably feel like he did the best he could in the moment?
That's the perfect way to put it. Sometimes I tell people that I think that if you have a breakup after 1 or 2 years, it almost might be more difficult than a breakup after 6 years, because I know this person. We had a relationship, we had an arc, we had a climax, and then we had an ending. I'm not left wondering what could have been. And I know this person in and out, and I know him well enough to know that he broke up with me the only way he could, because I knew that it was really fucking hard for him too.
For sure.
And I know that he hated the way he did it. We talked about it afterwards, like weeks later, months later. We had a conversation over text. We haven't seen each other or anything since. And I just was like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I never knew this person. Like, I'm just not into all those dramatics. Like, it's just not the way I wanted to view my breakup. I was like, this person that I loved, that loved me, left me, and I know he isn't trying to hurt me. I know he cares about me. He literally lived his life with me for 6 years.
Yeah.
He's not trying to fuck me over. He just needed to do this thing that honestly I needed to do too, but I never would have. And he had the clarity and honestly, frankly, less emotional bandwidth than me, so that he could just do it this way. That's how he had to do it.
I think some people are like, did I ever know this person? Were they just a liar? They had all this stuff. No, sometimes that's like not the answer. And I'm not sympathizing with him at all. I fucking hate how he did it. But you can hate how somebody did something and not hate them as a person. And that's how I felt about my ex too. And I don't think it was easy or fun for him to like burn our whole life down to the ground. I think he like was young and made a very crazy snap decision, but we didn't speak for years. When I finally spoke to him over 3 years later, he said, I've thought about this constantly every week for so many years. I hate how I did this to you. I cannot forgive myself. And like so much of our conversation was me just being like, I forgive you.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm doing fine.
It's not fun for them either.
Right.
Like no one's winning here. Like it's not happy. It's not easy. It doesn't matter which role you're playing. It really sucks for everyone. And I don't think I'm going to view my entire breakup through the lens of like the week or the day, truly the day that the breakup happened. I'm not viewing my entire relationship through that lens. Like I had an amazing, loving, like caring relationship. And I will always cherish those years that we grew up together. And I refuse to like tarnish it with like the one day that he fucked up. And really broke my heart. Like, yes, he broke my heart, but it needed to happen. And I'm never going to regret all our time together. Like, I think it's possible to still really love this person, and I still really do. But I just knew kind of immediately that my only choice was like to go through the pain and deal with it, because I didn't want to get back together. There was no way to manipulate the situation into my favor. Right. I wasn't like, how do I win him back? Like, what do I do? It was more like, how do I like mentally get through this and pick up the pieces and like move on? Because I still have to live. I still have friends and a life and a job, and I have people who count on me. Like, how do I do that?
So how did you do it?
I would say I gave myself, none of this was like regimented. None of this was something I thought about. It just ended up going down this way. I want to say, like, I don't think there's any right way or wrong way to process a breakup. I think it takes some people longer. By the way, I'm still processing, just so everyone knows. I'm definitely never, I mean, not over it. But I would say like, I would say for the first few weeks, I really let myself kind of wallow. But something really beautiful and special happened to me, which is that about a week or two after the breakup, I was sitting at my parents' house and I signed the biggest contract of my career. And it was just a really amazing moment for me that I was
like, I'm going to cry now. That made me cry, the contract. She's like, tell me about the money. No, it's just like, it's so validating.
And getting that contract in my email, I remember, I mean, it was a horrible day. I was crying that morning, but then I signed this contract and I was just like, this is it. Like life moves on.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be devastated, sad, and crying in my mom's robe this morning and like signing this sick contract this afternoon. And that's life. So
you did all the things I told you. Like, I kept saying to you, like, you've done all the things you're supposed to do with your life so that your primary relationship isn't the only thing in your life. You've built a career. You have all these friends. You're so close with your sisters and your parents, and you've traveled and you've all these hobbies and interests. Like, he wasn't the only thing in your life. And like, you've done such a good job at that.
And it wasn't intentional. I wasn't like building this life in case something were to happen to me. But I will say, the single most important thing, the single best thing that I did unintentionally was have a really strong and amazing group of friends, and obviously family, but you know, family you're born with, friends you cultivate, and you make friendships. And that's probably the single best thing that happened to me. Like, the way my friends were after my breakup, the way I knew I had people to talk to and rely on was just, it was just next level. I never felt so grateful. It was the true silver lining, the light in the tunnel.
You're welcome.
Clearing through the woods.
You like really fucking did it. You like found an apartment right away. That's like pretty great. You had friends go look at apartments for you, because like, good for you for having friends that will go do that. You know, I walked into one of those apartments for you and I was like, she's not going to make it.
Well, I was seeing pictures. I was like, that's on the street. I could tell. Rayna was like, what's the catch here? I was like, it's on the street.
No, one was like literally subterranean.
Oh yeah, it's below the street. It's like
below the street.
Terrace level.
It was really scary.
I was like, so this is rat.
It was like murder tape around.
Yeah, I was like, cool washer and dryer though, but who's gonna live here?
There was literally like, Rayna was like making the real estate dude like lay down in the bedroom. He's like,
well, he was like, a queen bed can fit there. And I was like, no, can't lay down.
Can't. No
he was
queen
like 6 feet tall.
No queen is gonna be in here, sir.
Absolutely, a twin bed at best. I was like, lay down on the floor. You show me. But you just fucking like handled your business. And I remember telling Ashley, now she was like, she's a woman. Women just do these things.
That's how we roll. But I mean, it goes so much to show, like, I mean, you know, we can hammer about like building a career and stuff all day, but like, you were just building your career because that was what you were going to do regardless. It's like that moment, like the contract thing is just so fucking awesome, where it's like, I'm going to do big things and it starts now. It was, you know, I mean, it'd been in the works, but.
Exactly. And so something like a thought that that resonated with a lot of people, and something that a lot of people kept repeating to me, was like, I just wish she had done it sooner. Like, you spent so many years together. And there was definitely a lot of me that felt like I was robbed of my 20s and robbed of the time all my friends were having so much fun and like fucking all these guys. And I was just watching, and I was, you know, I did feel robbed of those years in a way, but it's okay. We're making up for it.
Yeah, you are.
I disagree. I think we talked about this I disagree with those people. We talked about this, I think, Rayna, maybe at New Year's or something like that, where I was like, no, like how cool you got to be with this person in a time when a lot of people struggle, you know, like you're so like broke in your 20s, dating so tough, you know, like I think it's so special that you got to really have like a stable, nice time, and all the while building this career with someone by your side that was super supportive. And then you're like coming out of it at fucking 29, making money, single, on the streets, dating, you know yourself better now. Like you got to have this solid partner during the years when people don't know themselves and they are letting themselves get fucked over and they're dating all these terrible people. Like that's how I view it. I think you had a solid foundation through a time that was like, you really needed the support.
It's like a tumultuous time. And I'm telling you right now, I don't think mentally I would have been at like 24, 25, it would have been equipped to handle the New York dating scene or anything of that nature. Like I just didn't know myself. I wasn't confident. I didn't have any money. I mean, I was literally a minimum wage line cook when I was 25, but it's not all about money, but it really was a special, like again, the contract and just in general, this career that I've built, knowing that I could get myself a place and knowing that I'm a place in my life where I know myself. I've built this group of friends. I've lived in New York for 5 years. I have the ability, thank God, after so many years of struggling to get myself an apartment, all that stuff. It happened the only way it could have. If it had happened just 1 year earlier, I would have had to like maybe move in with my parents.
And that's
or like
exactly, it's not about money, but that's when we talk about money. It's like financial stability, independence, career.
I would have been a drastically different scenario.
Yes. And how many of us have never truly been loved by somebody who like really cares about us, who's truly a partner, who like has gone into their 30s thinking like every little thing is just acceptable and they'll take whatever scraps a man or a woman will offer them.
Right.
Because they've never really been treated well.
And that's something that he said to me even in the breakup. He was just like,
"You're welcome."
He was like, like I said, I started dating him in a pretty broken place, and now I know what love is and I know what I deserve. And now I am re-entering the dating pool, and it's like, it's not scary to me because I'm just like, well, it's not scary for loads of reasons, but part of it's because like, I know what I deserve and I know what I'm willing to accept and what I'm not willing to accept. And I have that kind of like, I guess, self-respect, for lack of a better word, and have an example in my life of how I deserve to be treated.
So let's talk about re-entering the dating scene. What that's been like. Well, you're laughing. I'm not going to put you on blast. You can say whatever you want.
Well, okay. I have a burning question. Listen, guys, Emily's been on these streets and she is like, it is tens only. It is just, they are all ages. Emily is an icon. I can't hype it enough. I can't stop talking about it. I talk about it all the time. Like, I'm like, who's Emily going out tonight? And then and that is how I feel like we started to bond more. Like we were side texting about who she was going out with. Like I live for this. This is like, it appeals to me so much.
And Emily doesn't care at all. Sunday night she went out with somebody. She's like, is it weird for this baseball cap to this date? I'm gonna have one drink, take him home.
You're just really doing it. Like it's just like, cause the first guy, that one guy, he was like fucking 50 and hot, and then the next guy's like 24 and hot. Everybody, they're all across the map.
We have nicknames.
Cuban Daddy. Cuban Daddy was the hottest.
So okay, I have a burning question. The first person you slept with, after the breakup, did you have a moment, or was it okay?
It was the best night of my life.
And the best morning. If you guys saw me live tweeting,
did you blow him in the shower? Because
she was live tweeting her whole Friday morning to me, and it was insane. I didn't hear from you all night.
So okay, like I love to hear that because I think people freak out. Like again, everybody's different, but like some people have a moment where they're like, this isn't my ex and I'll never. Emily was like this.
No, I didn't. First of all, I mean, I was definitely drinking, but I think I did it when I was ready. I think that would, not that anyone's out here asking me for my advice, but that would be my advice. Like I didn't do it before I felt I would be ready for something like that, because I can see how it would be horribly emotional and really sad, especially if it was like the wrong person. It just felt icky and weird. I didn't do like a whole bunch of vetting or anything for the person.
He was just hot.
He was, but ironically still in touch, still friends, still gonna see that person. I just felt like it was really liberating because that was a big part of why I was so restless towards the end of my relationship. And so I did feel like, listen, a lot of stuff is shit right now, and there's still a lot to be figured out. And I don't even have an apartment yet, but I can live out these fantasies and have some fun. And like, that's the silver line. How many times are we going to use that metaphor?
I mean, the metaphors in this episode are just off the chains. But
no one uses more metaphors than during a breakup. Don't you think? Like all the advice people give you are these like cliched metaphors. That's all you get.
That's because they like why they.
Listen, I love them.
We're gonna do a mashup of all the metaphors. That's what we're gonna do for the clip today.
But no, yeah. So you got dick down, and you were like, "This is what I've been missing."
It was like a great experience. I really liked the person, and it was just fun and light. And here's the thing: we can hypothesize as to why. I think part of me is like still not emotionally super capable at this moment, but I also just feel like I'm not looking for a boyfriend. Dating is literally so fun when you're not looking for anything.
Go off.
I'm having so much. I can't even stress it enough. Like I'm having
Bella smiled over there. Another post-breakup dating scene queen.
Icon.
If I did go out with someone that I felt like I could see something with, sure, but that's legitimately not what I'm looking for.
I think your attitude about this has been so great and so fun. You're not dating because you're like, there's this giant hole in my life and I gotta find my next husband. Like your attitude about it has just been so great. I'll go to a bar, I'll try it out. The amount of dudes you've had to like back off after the date. Emily is just like breakup text after breakup text. Yes. But I think that you've been like really open and honest with every person in a really beautiful way. I've watched you say to people like, I really had a lot of fun. I'm not ready right now. And that's it. People are really cool about it.
They're really cool about it. I haven't had any super shitty experiences yet. And I'm also pretty honest with people. I was actually talking about this with the guy Sunday.
Okay.
It's very young.
24? The one you wore a baseball cap with.
24,
and you were
26.
Like, we're having
24. It's a 24.
24 was hotter.
I don't know. I think I'm into 26.
No, remember he had the face.
Okay, but his body.
Okay, oh
which one has the legs?
26.
We know why.
Well, we know Bella.
Bella has a type.
I have a type too, but anyways.
I just have loved watching this like journey, for lack of a better term.
Oh my
you just
God.
have had such a good attitude about all of it. You're just like having fun. You're not like, what are we? What does this look like? I feel like what used to happen to me a lot after my last like, most terrible breakup was like you come home from dates and you're like, this is what's out there, and you're like crying. I have not heard you have one of those experiences. Of course you might one day, and we all have those, but you've just had such like a casual, this is just for fun, I'll find it when I find it attitude.
I've gone on bad dates. I went on a date with
the catfish.
No. Well, remember the nurse?
A nurse and said he lied about going to an Ivy League school.
He went to an Ivy League school. No, and there's nothing wrong with a male nurse at all. But like, listen, I'm going to make some jokes here or there. And I said, Emily is a 10 and she's out here dating a balding nurse. And that is dating in New York, everybody.
Oh my God.
Nothing wrong with a balding nurse, but Emily deserves better.
That guy was so hot if he just shaved his head like Dylan.
Oh my God.
He was
so hot.
I mean, duh. But no. Anyways, the point is, something I said to one of the guys I was seeing was that, and also can I make it clear that I'm not like out here just seeing a billion people?
You're literally dating
I'm
like
just
a normal
dating
person.
and having fun. Like
you're really just living like the Sex and the City lifestyle. Like you're going on dates and you're like hooking up with people when you feel it's appropriate. You're doing what everybody does when they want to date.
Also, in between that, I do think you really have been processing the breakup. There's been plenty of nights where you've cried. I mean, you told me you were crying 2 days ago. Like there's been plenty. Like I don't think you're trying to like stuff down your feelings with other dudes cum. Like I think that you.
She's really taking it there. She's really going for it.
I think that you are like taking the time to process this, work, see your friends, and like this is just another additional hobby, getting dicked down by nurses.
It's just part of it.
Nurse didn't dick
No, of course no. That was an abort mission. Oh my God.
The balding nurse could not get it.
No, that did not work out.
I broke up with him too. I'm just trying to give you credit that you're not like, it's not like I'm just gonna fuck the whole world and not process
not
this.
at all.
You are like really processing this. You're doing it all.
I think it's
You wash and dry.
in my new apartment with a washer dryer. No, but that's an important point. I just feel like because I don't know what it means to be over it. I don't know when I'll be over it. I know that there's a lot of processing left to do. I had to deal with a lot all at once, like with getting a new apartment, furnishing a new apartment, getting back on the dating scene, processing the breakup. And I'm still in the throes of that. And there are some days where I cry and I feel like I've regressed. Like I have moments where I will call like Rayna and I'll just say, I feel like I'm regressing, or I feel like something's wrong with me because I'm so sad this week and I've been so okay, but it is just been part of the process for me. There's no finite endpoint. Like I said, it's just a new normal. So I'm finding the fun and the excitement and the happy moments in between.
I think that's amazing. And I think that you know yourself and you're self-aware. And I think if you're like, maybe the dating is not making me feel like it should, then you would take a break from that, you know, like, and maybe if you're like, I need to not date this week and I'm just going to like Peloton and work and do this, like you would do that.
Like text Ashley about Pelotons.
Yeah. It's just, you know, let's just, that's what it's the
I'll text you after, Ashley.
Yeah. Just do that same Swiss Beats ride over and over and over.
Oh my God. Iconic. The best ride I've ever taken.
Yeah. If you guys are ever in a bad mood, the Swiss Beats ride.
I co-sign this because I belong to Peloton.
I mean, I just think you're doing so well. And I love that you're honest of like, no, every moment is not thriving. Like I'm going to sometimes, do you have a couch yet?
The couch came.
Okay. Thank God the couch came. I was going to say,
no one's ever talked about the couch floor. Okay. First of all, no, Rayna talks about her couches, her freaking white couches all the time. Yeah. So don't even give me that.
So sometimes you're just going to sit on your new couch and be upset, but like you're moving through it. And I think you've just done such a wonderful job, and that's really all I can say.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, we just like loved your insights, and we've wanted you on the show, and our listeners have for a long time. And we really appreciate you sharing the story in such an eloquent way. And we just really love you.
I love you guys so much. Thank you for having me on. And I really hope that this helps people.
I think it will. You speak so well about everything.
I know.
Breakup queen.
Stop. Thank you.
Or breakup queen. Tell people everywhere that they can find you, your website, your Instagram, if you want to plug anything else that you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. The best way to find me is on Instagram at Food Lovers Diary. Lots of food, lots of pasta, lots of carbs. You can find me on my website, www.emilyfedner.com. I also have a pasta pop-up and private events company in New York City. So if you want to follow us, that's Petite Pasta Joint. It's also in my Food Lovers Diary bio.
We're going there this Saturday.
So
this episode will have aired. So
okay,
we're doing
a surprise.
Yeah, it's a surprise. Bobby and Izzy's engagement party. Mm-hmm. Izzy's doing it for Bobby.
Yes. It is my
favorite thing to do.
You're gonna be sold out for the rest of the time, but it's my favorite thing I've ever done in New York. Like it's just this family style, incredible Italian dinner in an old Italian pasta shop that Sarah Raffetto owns.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
best pasta I've ever had in my life.
Raffetto's is so iconic. Thank you, Ashley. We use Raffetto's pasta. Raffetto's has been around since 1906, even when we're not having pasta events, because guys, we only do a few private events and maybe one public dinner a month. So it's a little jammed up at the moment, but Sarah is at the store 5 days a week. You can always get fresh pasta at Raffetto's.
My favorite was all my Christmas gifts for Ashley's family.
Oh my God. They like just
you did that?
came all over themselves.
I didn't know you did that. Did I know?
It was so nice.
That is
it was
the cutest,
so much.
most sweet gift.
Yeah. Well, we love you. We're so glad you did this. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
And you guys know where to find us, girlsgottaeatpodcast.com for everything. New merch is live, and get those Toronto tickets via our website. Follow us at Girls Gotta Eat Podcast on Instagram. I am Ash Hess. Rayna is Rayna.Greenberg. Girls_Gotta Eat on Twitter. And we will see you next week.
That's it, guys. Have a good week.
Bye.